600K a month to $2 million a month using Google Ads only within 4 months. That's the case study that you're about to watch in this video. Now, you will find the most value in this video if you are already getting good results and you want to get better results with Google. So if you want to scale even further, I take you through why the previous setup that this client had was suboptimal and how we identified the issues to fix this and actually scale the client so that if you are making the same mistakes that are preventing you from scale, you can identify them yourself. The reason this video will be valuable for you is because we use these strategies that anyone can apply to their Google Ads structure and see better results. The logic and principles that we use, anyone can use. And by the end of this video, regardless of if you are running the ads yourself or you have an agency running the account, you'll be able to identify and understand the logical framework behind successful Google Ad accounts that actually drive higher revenue month on month on month and don't just look good inside the ad account. If you don't know who I am, my name is Joel Davies. I'm the co-founder of Growth Edge. We focus exclusively on scaling brands' revenue profitably with Google and YouTube ads. We've generated over $40 million for our clients in 2024. And not only that, we have grown 2 7-figure e-commerce companies through the use of Google Ads exclusively. So we do practice what we preach as well. So without further ado, let's get stuck into the value of the video. This is the exact Google Ads structure that we use to go from the 600K a month mark to the $2 million a month mark in 4 months using Google Ads only. Now, I just want to provide you with the client context firstly, so I'll do that in just a moment. Basically, explain to you how we use the Pareto principle and the feeder strategy in order to do this. And then I'm also going to talk to you about the setup that they had beforehand, the setup that we implemented when we took over, how we implemented the Pareto principle and the feeder strategy in order to scale this client and vertically scale their budget and their revenue in a linear fashion. At the end of the video, I'm also going to talk to you about how you can apply this yourself in order to see better results with Google Ads and actually scale your account. So you're going to find the most value in this video, as I said, if you are already getting good results with Google and you're actually going to be able to understand how to scale those good results even further. So essentially with this client, they have about 90% Google Ads traffic and then about 10% coming from Bing ads. And as you can see here, July was before this client signed with us. So this is when they were running the ads themselves. They'd spent about 48K. They generated 635K in revenue at an MER or blended return on ad spend of 12.4. So their return on ad spend overall was 12.4 using both Bing ads and Google ads as the ad spend. When we had the call with them at the back end of July, they wanted to get to $1 million a month in revenue. And we kind of thought that was a little bit bullish based on the fact that they were getting pretty good results already. Upon further evaluation, actually looking at their account, we're able to determine that we could probably get there. Actually ended up getting there within 30 days, doubled their revenue within 30 days and got them to $1.2 million in revenue within 30 days. We doubled their ad spend, doubled their revenue, maintained their return on ad spend. And when they signed with us, this 635K was the highest ever revenue mark that they'd achieved. We've been able to take that client to $2 million a month in revenue. Obviously, Q4 is at play here that actually accelerates the growth of this client, but we've been able to demonstrate how we've been able to increase monthly recurring revenue year on year, month on month, and obviously scale this client to the $2 million a month mark. So here's the in-account data. So that was previous to signing with us, and that was in November where we were able to get this client to $2 million a month mark. There's some inflated conversion value here because we're using performance max campaigns. I actually have another video on my account explaining exactly why that is. So PMax attribution can over-attribute. That's no issue because we're using different metrics to assess performance, not just the Google Ads account. So it doesn't matter all that much. So the context, as I said at the start of the video, the Pareto principle is what we use in order to really scale this account. And we also used a mix of that with the feeder strategy, which I'll also explain in the video. So we've been using that most of this year. As I said, this client has pretty much only Google Ads as their primary traffic source. And you're probably wondering like, 80K spend, $2 million in revenue. This is reseller SERP. Right. What does that mean? So this client is an e-commerce company that is a reseller of particular brands. So think of, any store that you bought Nike and Adidas from that's not Nike and Adidas, right? They're a reseller of Nike and Adidas brands. This particular e-commerce company is not a reseller of Nike and Adidas. They're a reseller of other products. But what this results in is a high return on ad spend because a lot of the strategy is predicated on scooping up a lot of that existing demand that already exists. But it's not just as simple as just ranking for, branded keywords, right? There is huge competition because everyone is selling the same stuff. So there's a lot of people on Google Shopping alongside we're competing for. All of our competitors on Google Shopping are selling the exact same product with discounts, right? There's very huge competition. So it's not as easy as just ranking and just hoping for the best. It obviously involves data, good decision-making, and scaling spend in a predictable manner. The setup beforehand, so I'm going to speak you through exactly what this is. If you're not sure what a PMax campaign is, what a feed campaign is, what non-feed campaign is. So what essentially does this mean? A PMax campaign is essentially a search, shopping, display, YouTube, discovery campaign all in one. Every single product that they had, and they had, 1,000 SKUs, they were all in the same campaign, right? And that was taking up about 40% of the budget. They then had a PMax non-feed, which is basically just an automated search campaign. And then they had standard shopping and search taking up about 20% of the budget. Why this sucks? Now, obviously it doesn't completely suck because they got really good results with it, right? But when you're running this sort of strategy, the budget is spread too thin across lower performing products. So when you add budget to this catch-all campaign, because every product is inside there, you're not only adding budget to your best performing products, but you're also adding budget to your lower performing products and your mid performing products. when you add budget, there's no guarantee that that's going to drive the most amount of revenue for you. One of the biggest problems with that is that it's a huge opportunity cost because you miss the opportunity to fully capitalize on your best sellers by not allocating the maximum budget to accelerate their growth. When you add budget to that, it's not always going to the best selling products. It's going across the lower performing products and the medium performing products as well. So increasing your budget or spend levels leads to more inconsistent and unpredictable outcomes for you. Obviously, there is also wasted ad spend because when you add budget, you're also adding budget to those lower performing products. So there's a few different iterations of this that we went through, but essentially this is the final sort of structure that was able to really scale this account, right? So the Proto principle, what is that? That's the 80-20 rule. 80% of your revenue will come from 20% of your products. I honestly think anyone can get better results if they just divide campaigns using the Proto principle. What we've been able to do is split that PMAX catch-all campaign into best sellers, mid sellers, and low performers. So then what we're able to determine is that in that PMAX catch-all campaign, there were a certain subset of products that were generating 80% of the revenue for that particular PMAX campaign. So we're able to leave those products within that performance match campaign. And then we split out the mid sellers and the low performers from that PMAX campaign into their own campaigns and allocated smaller amounts of budget to those. We also used the feeder strategy, and that took up 55% of the budget. And this is what helped us really scale this client. The feeder strategy, what is it, right? So if you're not familiar with what Performance Max campaign is, as I said, it's kind of a display discovery, search and shopping campaign all in one. And one of the problems with Performance Max campaigns is that it can kind of have a high level of ambiguity around it. It's very uncontrolled in the way that you manage it. Feed Performance Max with high intent traffic. With standard shopping and standard search, we can control, number one, the ad placement, because we know when we spend more money on shopping, we're spending it on shopping. When we spend more money on PMAX, there's no guarantee that it goes towards search and shopping, which is our highest ROI campaigns. It could be going towards display discovery, YouTube ads. So we know that when we add more budget, it goes towards shopping. We know that shopping's higher ROI for us. We can also negative keyword out bad keywords that are not converting for us. We can be very targeted in the keywords that we want to target with both standard search and standard shopping. We can target those keywords that are converting for us. So it has a twofold effect. We can teach the algorithm what a conversion looks like because we're targeting those specific converting keywords. We're also just feeding PMAX with good new customer traffic that it can retarget. So that's the feeder strategy. Now, why this strategy is better overall is particularly the Proto principle. The budget, particularly previously, was spread too thin, right? But now we're allocating more budget to products driving the most amount of revenue. As we add more budget to this campaign, we are sure budget that we're adding to it, that spend that we're adding to it, is going towards the best selling products, right? And we know that those products sell. So we know that as we add more budget to it, it's going towards the products that are driving the most amount of revenue, and they will drive more revenue for us. It allows less budget to products driving less revenue. So your mid to low performers, they're taking up less budget now. So results of you vertically scaling your budget become more predictable because when you add budget, you know it's going towards your best selling products. The wasted ad spend is far less because you're allocating less budget to those lower performing products. And you will find more winners to graduate the best sellers campaign over time, right? So you basically be able to find, over time, some of these low performers and mid sellers will start to perform better, and you can start to graduate them to your best sellers campaigns. It's more or less a graduation system. I'm going to discuss here how you can apply this yourself. So you can split by sales volume. Typically, I like to split by sales volume. There's a couple other reasons that you can split campaigns, like you can split them by margin. With high SKU counts, it becomes difficult, but if you've got like high margin products and low margin products and medium margin products, you can split it by that. You can split it by location. You can split it by seasonality. Typically, you want to have less splitting of your campaigns, less segmentation. I find that splitting by sales volume is the best strategy because then you're able to sort of be more aggressive with those things that are working well for you and driving the most amount of revenue for you. Use the feeder strategy. So use standard shopping and search in order to basically feed your performance match campaigns with good traffic, and make sure that when you've got keywords that you're actually converting well for, make sure that you're maximizing your impression share for those keywords. So what this allows you to do is, let's say you've got a particular set of keywords that are converting really well for you. You can use standard shopping and search to make sure that you're ranking as high as possible for those keywords at any given time. With Performance Max campaign, there's far less control for you to do that, and you can't do that with any guarantee. So as you add more budget, there's no guarantee that it will focus on those keywords that you want it to focus on. Now, you need to understand attribution. So you need to scale your feeder campaigns. You need to scale these campaigns and not your Performance Max campaign. And I'll take you through exactly how we did that inside this account. So as you can see here, so here's some of the campaigns inside this account. And this is just a good demonstration of how we added budget, right? As you can see here, there's 3 Performance Max campaigns here. This one here, and this one here. And the ROAS looks amazing. So we see the ROAS here, it's 30x here, it's 35x here, and it's 19x here. That's not real because as we see here, we can see that this shopping campaign, this search campaign, these traditional feeder campaigns here, their ROAS is really poor. The 3x ROAS, 6x ROAS, 4x ROAS. This one's a bit of an outlier, but we've got basically, and that one's an outlier too, but we've basically got very poor ROAS on all of these feeder campaigns. And we know that the keywords that we're targeting on those particular feeder campaigns are good keywords because we know we've converted inside the PMAX campaign on those keywords. We just know that the attribution is being stolen by the Performance Max campaigns. What you'll notice here is that most of this budget overall on your screen here, I think there's around 29K of budget going towards feeder campaigns, 866 for around 29K going towards the feeder campaigns, and around 10K going towards the performance max campaigns. So we're not scaling those performance max campaigns, we're scaling the spend on those feeder campaigns. So that's something to be very cognizant of, is that even the ROAS looks like shit. If you're targeting things that actually convert for you and have converted for you in the past, you're targeting those good keywords, continue to spend on those feeder campaigns and understand the attribution is just going to be really, really messy when it comes to that. So that's how you should understand attribution, is just understand that your feeders are the ones that are scalable and your PMax campaigns are not as scalable. One thing that I want you to understand is you want to get to the point where you can use TROAS, whether it's shopping, search, or even performance max. You want to get to the point where you can use automated bidding or smart bidding. In this particular case, we use TROAS. Obviously, if you have CPA goals, you can use TCPA, which is target CPA. It allows you to basically just get more predictable returns from Google, right? You can scale budgets. If you're meeting that target, you can basically add more budget and it will consistently hit that target, week after week and month after month. That's essentially everything when it comes to this particular case study and how we grew this account vertically from, $600K a month up to $2 million a month. There's obviously some seasonality at play there, but we've been able to demonstrate how we've been able to grow this client's top line revenue month after month after month and make really good decisions inside this account. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you found value in this video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my performance max campaign guide at the bottom of this video that you can download. It's about 150 pages of pretty much everything you need to know when it comes to running performance max campaigns successfully and the things that you need to be aware of. And if you have any questions on that, if you have any questions on this video, just comment below and I will get back to you. But I hope you found value in this video and I'll see you in the next one.